Welcome, everybody, man. Thank you for being here with us again. I'm here again with my brothers. We at the Chop Shop, presented by the Director's Den. This is episode 31. How y'all doing, my brothers?
Weird. What's up with it?
Good.
Yeah. How y'all
Y'all
week
ready?
been? It's been a minute since we got together.
Have been.
We
Man, them days be going by so quick, but they be so long when you in them.
Come on.
Then when they gone, you don't even remember. I can't even tell you what my week was like, to be real. I had to really sit down and really be like, all right, Monday, what I do Monday? It be a lot going on, man.
I got you. So do we need to check in? Like, do we need to do highs and lows?
For sure.
Let's do highs and lows then.
sure.
All right. We'll start with you. We'll start with you then, Cleo. Just give me your highs and lows.
Ooh.
One high and one low.
Yeah, we're gonna talk. Let's talk. My low was some people on my job been conspiring against me, and it's about to culminate. But that's almost like a high for me because I'm confrontational. So it's like, if it's up, it's up. You know what I mean? But in my spirit, man, I got to be humble. The high for me was Valentine's Day was last week, but the aftermath of Valentine's Day, I mean, came on through.
Okay. You see how he said something without saying something. I just sprinkled that out there a little bit.
No, I'm just gonna say it.
Go ahead. We gonna chop it.
No, hey, now this may or may not apply. But when he said that, it made me think of my boy next morning, ATL episode. My boy come downstairs.
You already
give me a
know
big
what he
bowl of
said. Go
cereal.
ahead. Hey.
He said, "Hey, why you so happy?" He said, "I ain't gonna lie.
I got some
I got
cutty
some cutty
last
last
night.
No,
It may or may not apply.
I
I'm
am
just
the
saying.
uncle in that situation. I ain't getting no cutty.
What about you, Chac?
Low for me, what I really kind of just noticed this week with myself, I got to do a better job taking care of myself, man, across the board, like from a sleep aspect
Yeah.
to how I eat
Real
to
talk.
when I eat. You know what I'm saying? Like this week has been bad. I've been eating bad this week. I'm like, damn, bro, you really eating like you could be on my 400-pound life or something like, bro, just snacking like crazy, like it's Halloween or something, bro.
Well,
Like,
I don't want to put you out there, but I remember we was talking the other day when I called you and you was ordering through the drive-through. You was like, "Yeah, let me get a bowl." You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Give me a little bit of. Come on, you can add a little bit more rice in there. I'm just
Yeah.
like,
Nah, straight up. Like, just I gotta do a better job of that this week, and I'm trying to set myself up for that this week. So I gotta, like I said, some rest and eating better because I be so tired, bro, every day. I feel like I don't never get no rest unless it comes Sunday if I'm not refing. Um, but a high, like just lately, my high been like my job situation at Grace Christian. Like, it's really been allowing me to move in different spaces that's fulfilling spiritually, but also just fulfilling with from a mentor standpoint, and then just also just the appreciation factor of being acknowledged by different people at different times who have no clue that what they saying to me all line up with just me being in position there. On top of me being able to be around my babies, all day, but just seeing how the kids respond to me there, how they take to me, and then how they parents take to me. Like, so, just the little stuff like that be encouraging. And then they gave me my letter for they want me to come back next year, up my pay, all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? So just being in that where I'm at there, like this just been fulfilling for
What about you, Young?
I think for me, let's see. Hi, well, since we moved, I was in the transition of moving, new job, new career, new everything. So I think a high for me would be just now I'm finally starting to get settled, trying to get the house to look the way that we want to, Um, been spending some money now, you know. That's one thing the missus gonna do. She gonna spend some money, you know. Also, I just think though, just the dynamic and the conversations with my wife, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
We've been getting much better, with our communication with each other and just learning each other's traits, you know what I'm saying? Not saying that we ain't know each other, but it's like, heading into year 15, it's like we both now starting to see that transition, you know. I make the joke all the time when you see that old person and you be like, "Oh, y'all been married for 30 years, man. And what did you do?" They all say the same thing. I just do what my wife tell me to do. You know what I'm saying? So,
Happy wife, happy
yeah.
life.
But let's see, a low for me would probably be um I would say just like being more productive with my time.
Mm.
And when I say being more productive with my time, you know, we get 24 hours in a day for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to be masonically on you guys. So your 24 hours is supposed to be split up into threes. So you got 8 hours you spend with your family, 8 hours that you spend with religion, and then you got your other 8 hours is supposed to be your rest. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, even with that, I think, yeah, it's kind of like piggybacking off of kind of like something like Mike said. Like, I just got to do better. You know, stop going to bed at midnight thinking I'm gonna get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and it just I'm gonna be as productive as I need to be for the day. Eating once, you know, and I'm in the trucks all day, so with being in the trucks, I snack more than anything,
Yeah.
But I'm thinking just more so, just even mentally, just making sure I'm staying and just staying grounded, making sure that my word is the first thing that I get to in the morning. I'm waking up in more than enough time to do that. You know what I'm saying? But I just, I just want to be more productive with my time. But all right, we gotta. Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all good, bro. Don't leave me out.
I never leave you
I
out, my guy.
appreciate you, man.
Okay, so I'm gonna take it to EJ. EJ, so give us a one high, one low for you.
I'll say my high is consistency. I think I'm being more consistent in areas of my life that I said this year. I set out some personal goals for. So spiritually, and physically, just trying to be more in shape, trying to lose some weight. You know what I mean? I want to get down to like 225 this year. Um, and then on top of well, I guess the low will be my wife not getting her job. That she had applied for. She had an interview. She did a great interview. They said, "Hey, you did great." And she has a call tomorrow with the person that interviewed her, to get some feedback on what I guess was the miss that made
Hmm.
somebody else look, more make them look better for the role. And so, which I think that's a blessing in disguise, because that means you did something right. Because a lot of companies these days do not tell you why you didn't get the job. They don't have to. Most of these companies are at will states anyway, so they don't have to give you any explanation or reason why. So I would say that's a low and a high, but if I had to say the low, that's the low.
Well, you like I said, delay don't necessarily mean denial. You just could be just all on God's
Yeah,
timing.
yeah, yeah. I believe it for her, man. I think she gonna do great things. And I believe when we God don't open up one door, it's not because he didn't want to. I think it's more so just because it wasn't for you. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Or right now just may not be the time, because how ironic is the position she applied for. They never had somebody uh her building that does this, right? To be
Hmm.
housed there. So now they got somebody housed there.
Mhm.
So I was like, yo, this is all great. If that's something that you really want to be into, now you got somebody right there that you could pick their brain, right? Like,
Correct.
so you find out what's the problem, what was the disconnect, and then
Mhm.
you leverage that opportunity you got to have that person here with you and fine tune all those skills. So I think it's a win-win.
Because rejection is direction too as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like if you use the example of like a GPS, like if you go and it tell you to turn right and you got a road closed sign,
Right.
you want to go past that sign and find out why it's closed,
It's
or you
like
want
that.
to
What was that movie? Dang, you just made me think of it. Not the Noah one. What was it? It's the one with Jim Carrey.
Bruce
What? Did you
Bruce
Almighty?
say yes?
Almighty.
Oh, okay.
Remember, he was going on the street and all them God kept giving
And
him
he hit him with the.
signs. God kept giving him signs. Like it was like, stop, don't go, don't. He was just like, I gotta go. Give me a sign, Lord. And he probably was like, I am giving you a million signs right now.
What he really meant was give me a sign that I won't. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we are too, though.
But no, though, I think even like even with saying what you're saying, it's kind of like one of those segues where, because even in my prayers, you know what I'm saying, when I'm praying to God,
Mhm.
I'm telling him, hey, thank you, God, for the doors that you also closed. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because you got to understand, God as a protector, he blocks us from things that we don't even see coming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So in our eyes, we may be like, dang, I really wanted to do that. Or why'd I get taken away from me when all it could be is our father protecting us, you know? So I think it's one of those things that we just got to be thankful for both, you know. But also too, just know that trusting in God, that what's for you is for you, you know. And I'm at the point now where I feel, hey, if I don't get something or anything at this point in my life, I say, hey, maybe it wasn't for me. And in my prayers, I pray for that. Hey, God, please provide what's for me for me. Please give those things to me. You know what I'm saying? And anything that is not of you, Father God, please remove it from my life, my spirit, and from around me.
Mm.
But that brings me into my segue. We got a really great topic for y'all today. All right. And the title today is going to be Humble Husbands.
Mm.
And I'm really excited about this topic. Ain't y'all excited about this topic today?
Yeah, going boy. It's
I
on the
am Daniel's
one.
son today.
Yeah, it's on the
Dad, come
one.
on. Y'all ain't give me no energy. I
I
said
said I'm Daniel's son. That's
the
it.
Danielson had.
Daniel son.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
You know, I'm super excited, man. You know, I feel like I'm humbled. I'm a husband, so let's talk about it.
talk about it. I mean, all right. So the topic, when we asked about topics, I'm the one that threw this out there. No particular reason. It was just something, like you said, y'all asked. God hit me with it. So I feel like maybe it's something that we all need to touch base on one way or another, like whether it be reassuring or convicting. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? So, um, humble husband. It's like, what do you, where does that take you with yourself? Like, where does that take your thought process when you think about that humble husband? Not per se, like you can put it to yourself, am I a humble husband, or what does a humble husband look like? Because it can be different per household. I mean, because depending on your spouse, like, which might sound crazy, like some women might not like, they prefer a man that's not coming off as humble. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Like real talk, like they might want you to act a certain way. So
Yeah.
just depending on the household, it might be a different look. But one thing I'll say, because I know I'm just gonna go around the room, I know, but what it made me think about really like humble, and you think about just how the Bible tells us how the husband is referred to as, how the husband is to look at his wife in the Bible.
Mm.
Um, and the biggest thing, man, that kept just sticking out to me is the scripture of love your wife as Christ loved the church. And we hear it, sometimes it sounds super cliche, but when you really think about how Christ loved the church,
Mm, mm, mm,
just think about just the crucifixion piece alone, with carrying his cross and knowing what was to come for himself as loving the church, what he had to go through as loving the church, what he had to endure as loving the church. Like, and the joy and the dog mentality that he had towards it all. Like, I know what's to come, but this is the church. This is my bride. I love the church this much for me.
mm-hmm.
So I am gladly and I am willing to take on A through Z, not skipping a letter. I want the capital letter and the lowercase
Mm,
letter,
mm.
A to Z. So like just dropping that on y'all to kind of dive into it and what y'all want to spin off on it.
So before we jump all the way into it, all three of y'all are married. I'm not. I'm divorced. But if you already told us young that y'all almost at 15. Eve, where y'all at?
Be 11 this year.
Chalk, where y'all at?
I'm right behind him.
Almost at 15.
Nope. Well, almost at 14.
Okay.
So yep,
I just wanted to give context
context.
so people know the weight of y'all's words before we get into this.
Sheesh.
But to
That's
piggyback
heavy. You
off
made
of
me feel
You feel me?
somebody.
OG, triple OG, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Listen up,
Man,
young nigga.
yeah, though.
Give you some of this
Because I even
game.
think, because I mean, to even really think about that though, like truly think, like, I mean, it be hitting me though randomly. Like me and my wife, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my beautiful wife, Bianca, Brittany Young. Um, she is like, wow, man. Like, we've been together for 20 years, married for almost 15. And, hey, you know, like, I know I'm a handful. So, first of all, thank you for giving me 20 years of your life, you know, for one,
3 babies.
and three
Hmm.
babies. Um, but like, when I think of me as a husband and being humble, I think, I just, I just keep it real. You know, it's something I struggle with. You know what I'm saying?
Why you think that is?
Um, and I think I struggle with it. To be honest with you, is it ain't too many husbands that I had coming up to be able to reflect
Mm.
as a humble servant. Not even just a humble servant, a humble husband. So it's kind of like something that you haven't learned. It's like the fear of the unknown. You know, I can I'll take it to sports. Since I
Mhm.
love sports, we all love sports. You played the game of basketball because somebody introduced you to it. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm not saying you have to play the game of basketball to be able to be good at it, but you know, how many really, how many things or how many coaches you know that's coaching that hasn't played basketball that's really good? You know what I'm saying? So if I'm not used to doing something, how can I teach you how to do it? You know what I'm saying? Like, or how can I show you how this is supposed to be? You know? And I think as I got
Mm.
older and I started to gravitate to couples who have been married, and I start to look at certain situations. And that's something that me and my wife has been doing. Like, say we're out and about,
Hmm.
say we're at a gathering, or say we're somewhere, and a situation happens, and say a couple gets into it, or we'll just say they're at odds with each other. Me and my wife will sit there and we'll talk about it, not right then and there, but like that night, I might be like, "So how would you have responded in that situation?" Like, how you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all know it. Like, we all be in the bed with our wives, and we just talking, or whether you sitting at the dinner table, whenever you have that intimate time with your spouse, and you just ask them, like, but like me and my wife, we will sit there and we'll talk like, all right, if that was us in that couple, how would you have wanted me to handle it? Or how should I not respond? Because it's been times that I've been like, hey, if that happened to me, I'm going bananas. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But again, what come with being humble also comes grace. You know what I'm saying? And we supposed to be asking for grace. You know what I'm saying? So you you guys tell me what you think. What about you, EJ? How you feel?
I mean, I feel like I grew up in together broken homes, meaning I didn't see my mom get married twice before she passed away. She was married to my father, married to my stepdad. See my dad, he was married to my mother, and he was married for like almost 20 some years, and now he probably about to be married again. And for me, man, it always I was always exposed to the good pieces. Like I can realize like where there was good pieces in their life, but I was exposed to a lot of the toxicity that came
Mm.
with marriage and relationships. And
Say
so
that again, man.
Um, I used to always just say like when I get married, like I for one I've always, I established principles where I said when I get married I'm only getting married once, and the reason why I established like a principle like that in my life is because it has to work, right? Like it has to work. If I find my wife, me and my wife for worst years of our life was the first 2 years we were married, and worse as in like, bro, I was lying about stuff, hiding stuff, not being all the way upfront, truthful from when we was dating that carried into the marriage.
Mm.
And I feel like the only reason they came out when we was married was because it was something not like on no cheating stuff or nothing like that, but it was something that I felt like if we would have just been dating, my wife would have probably been like, I'm cool. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying?
So you intentionally kept that information in reserve until after.
No, I didn't. It still would have been reserved. And you know, God is meticulous. I feel like He bring all things in the dark to the light, especially when He know it needs to be. I believe
Mm.
me and my wife, like we are destined, like to be complete opposites, totally different, but the perfect balance for each other when we allow each other to be our strongest for the other. But the first 2 years was just horrible because a lot of it was me, you know what I mean? And then a lot of it was her reaction, you know what I mean, to it, you know. And so, you know, I don't know, man. I feel like growing up and seeing so much toxicity in marriage that I said I'm only getting married once. Like, that's it. That
I'm with
that's
you.
it. So like,
I am with
you
you.
know, when I took my vows and I said like to death do us part for good, worse, indifferent, evil, sickness, health, like I meant that. Like I wholeheartedly. The only way my wife could we won't be together is if I go or she go. That's
Mm.
just how it is. And you know, one of the things that helped me get through those tough times in that first 2 years was one realizing myself, right? Like looking in the mirror and saying, "Nigga, you got some issues." You know, not no crazy issues, but like the stuff that I was lying about was petty stuff, regardless. But it's like you got a lying problem with your wife, and the reason why you have a lying problem is because you started a lying problem before she became your wife.
Mm.
So you've been going for 2, 3 years straight, hiding one thing. You know, it's always been my biggest thing with smoking. And the reason why I held it from her was because she disclosed to me information when we was dating that she don't like smokers.
Right.
So I wanted to keep her. You know what I mean? But like I feel like I always said if I can get past me and I can get past and I can always judge me judge me before God judge me, then this marriage could definitely work. Right? Because at the end of the day, I'm only responsible for me here. Like I'm responsible to take care of my wife, but like I can't control her actions. If my wife was to go do something crazy or foul, I can't stop that. I'm firm on like, bro, you your own woman. Like
Mm-hmm.
you go do something crazy, that's on you. I'm my own man. She would feel the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And you know
I'm
what
with you.
that come with that. You get what I'm saying? And so, you know, I don't know, man. I feel like now I'm in that blissful state of marriage. I feel like this is like the honeymoon. And I think it's
Mm.
because me and my wife know each other now.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know each other. We didn't live together before we got married. It was nothing. Like we complete separate. So I'm a firm believer you really don't know somebody until you live
Yeah.
with them.
You
Like
don't
you
know
That's the truth.
because a
you
whole
don't know a
bunch of
person until
stuff
you
come
share
out
a
right
bathroom with them,
or
bro.
No,
no just
definitely.
I mean just living with them period, you know what I mean, sharing a space to where you know when you dating my wife come over I put in extra time. She never gonna see the crib lacking, but
Hey,
when you married oh, that lack is getting seen, right? And so, you know, I don't know, man. I feel like the success part for me was really just like coming up with my own vision of what marriage looks like, and I'm just so happy that my vision wasn't totally disaligned from what God already has planned for the marriage. It was me that needed some fixing, right? Like I don't think
mm-hmm.
marriage need fixing. I think people need fixing, and they I don't know. I don't know why we always choose to get married and then fix ourselves.
But I think you said something that was really interesting. Um, you said like you never really know somebody until you share a space, like you live
Yeah.
with them in the house. And it was kind of funny. It brought me back to during COVID situations when people was like, hey man, and I was you would see all the different memes and different things like because when we had to be in the house and you was forced to be with your family, you couldn't go outside, you couldn't kick it. People was like, "Hey man, I really don't like the person that I'm
Exactly.
living with." You know what I'm saying? And so that is funny that you say that, but I wanted to, you know, stay right where you was at. But you said something else that I really want to throw out there is when you said you was still doing something that your wife didn't like. So as a husband,
Yeah.
I'm asking you, when your wife doesn't like something and she wants you to stop doing it, do you just stop doing it? Shock, what you think?
For me, man, like even with this word, like the humble stuff, you have to. The whole thing about it is that you gotta evaluate your motive behind the action.
Mm.
Mm.
Like, and once you do
Mm.
that, it break it all the way down for you.
Mhm.
Like it really do. Like, and I do that a lot on a daily basis with my wife. Like, she don't even know. Like I had these conversations with myself all the time when I feel like I want to get in my feelings about something, or you know what I'm saying. Like immediately the Holy Spirit hit me. Like okay, maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's something small. Uh, if I've been going all day and something don't get done, and she had them same feelings as well, but it make me run down the rap sheet. It's like, bro, all right, what you tripping for? Your wife wake up at 4:35 in the
Mm.
morning every day trying to get in her word. Then she's listening to another sermon while she's trying to get the kids do their hair, and then she gotta go to work and make me run down her whole rap sheet of her day and what it looks like, taking mine out, but just
Mm.
putting myself in her shoes on what it can do to trigger her to maybe not do something, or maybe make her not feel like doing something, or maybe I feel like she might have missed the point of acknowledgement with me for something that I might have did better that she asked. You know what I'm saying? But it make me check
Mm.
myself in the spirit, like, hey, bro, chill.
Mm.
It ain't that serious, my guy. Like,
You know, to piggyback off what you said, I used to always ask myself, like, when me and my wife would get in arguments or like I had a strong opinion, one of the things that I used to do all the time, and my wife used to always look at me like I'm crazy because we'd be in this heated argument, and then I go take this time to myself. I come back in, and I'm over it, right? But
Mm-hmm.
the thing that helped me get over it was more so to always tell myself, does it change the way I love you?
mm,
That will it doing what you just did, right? And then you waited, right? Like how you just did. I think that was like amazing, right? Like that's the reason why I'm so forward because I feel like a lot of people don't do that. They don't take into account of what the other person had to go through that
Come
day.
on.
But for me, I used to just look at it like, all right, what's the argument about? Lay it out on the table. So we arguing about this. Does that change the way you love her?
mm,
Are you
Mm.
going to stop loving her? And
Mm.
God used that piece right there to slap me every time.
Mm.
He'd be like, then when you go back in there, it's I love you, baby, and move on with the day. Because as a husband, you set the temperature in your house. You get what I'm saying? She just the
I'm with you.
thermostat. I I set the temperature. So if I could come back in here on some man, blah, 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 popping off, or you can go back in there and completely change the atmosphere of what your house is like.
mm-hmm,
And I feel like God used that one thing. And bro, that hasn't even just been with my wife. Been with
mm-hmm,
my bros. It's
mm-hmm,
when relationships. When somebody done me wrong, I heard something. Like do it change the way you love them? Do it change the way you look at them? And if it does, now I'm really at a point where I can really bring it to the table and say, "Hey, bro, because of this, we gotta talk." You get
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Like some stuff don't need to continually be elaborated about, and I think that's one thing that a lot of people don't realize in marriage. And some stuff, bro, as a husband, I just got cut, and my wife notices it, and she'll come to me and be like, "Man, I'm so like when we in our good time, right, out on date night, man, I'm so glad you like didn't, because it might be her time in the month. Her body going through all time. One thing I learned about my wife is, bro, you don't know what they going through, bro. It's just
Mm.
my job to be what God has called me to be.
Mm.
It's not my job to regulate her body, to tell her how to respond to me when you on that
Mm-hmm.
time. No, I can't tell her any of that. But what I can ask myself is, does it what she just did, what she just said, doesn't change the way you love her.
Do you want to
Right.
be right or do you want to be married?
Come on, that's exactly what I was
Do you
going
want
I'm
to
to.
be
trying to
right?
be. No.
Do you want to be?
You want
Do
to be
you
right or you
want
want to be married? That'd be the
That's
conclusion
crazy.
of every trip.
That's a dope.
Because it always come back to, like you said, like my wife acknowledges like my patience.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
off, you know what I'm saying? Like she acknowledges my patience when it comes to just she say with herself with the kids. Cause I'm really just I'm the punching bag, bro. Like I don't be tripping. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I realize and I be thankful that God has given me that type of mindset, and that type of peace for me just to roll the punches off and get in my car when I have my rides and had chop it up with the Holy Spirit or whatever the case may be, or I might land on the word or the podcast or something, and it give me so much clarity, and I be thankful that I just don't explode. Cause one, I don't like getting mad, cause when I get mad, it's like Incredible Hulk. So I rarely get mad, like ever. Like I'm really over the top mad, cause I know if I go there, it's gonna be hard to bring me back there. And I think my wife only seen me really go crazy like 2 or 3 times. Like one time I spazzed on my daddy in front of her, like to the point where I had to apologize to him after the fact. He took me there, but I spazzed on him, and she was right there in the car with us. And then also too old stuff like when we used to be out club, about to get into it with people, but I know I never want to do that to her. Like I
Mm.
never want to make her feel that way. Like it would hurt my heart if I was to lose my control and talk to her that way and make her feel like that when I'm supposed to be treating her a certain way. Like so, but you want to be right, you want to be married. I know Cleo ain't really touched on this yet. He was about to, so I'm gonna go ahead and just relay it over
That's
to.
good though, bro. Do you want to be
Yeah.
right? Do you want to be married?
And it's a couple. It's a couple things, man. I hope I can hit them all. Chalk, when you said about being a punching bag,
Mm.
I it came out as a punching bag, but to me it sounded like that's your cross.
Mm,
If we
Mhm.
taking it back to, you know what I'm saying, the illustration that you gave at the beginning, husband, or not the illustration, but the verse you gave, husbands love your wives as Christ of the church and gave himself for it. I think when we hear that, we think about because of what Christ went through and his physical was so intense. I think sometimes we can lose what he really went through in the Garden of Gethsemane.
Mm.
mm,
That
Mhm.
was the emotional part of it.
Yeah.
mm,
When you sweat blood to the, well, I'm saying when you sweat to the point where it's blood, because after the garden, he was spit on. After the garden, they snatched his beard out. After the garden, they punched him in the face. After the garden, you know what I'm saying? They gave him the cross. This is after he's already made these commitments in his mind. So basically, to what you were saying earlier, EJ, like during your dating season, when you was in that dating season with your wife, you didn't lay everything down in the
I
garden.
didn't.
You
But I
mm,
carry, you know
think
what I
that
mean?
comes back to how you raise, bro. You know,
Back
bro,
to
bro,
back to
my bro,
AJ's
back
point.
to how you back to AJ's point, because my dad
Yeah,
used to I told you when my dad about to be third marriage, and like I love my dad,
macaroni.
don't love my dad like dearly, right? Like, but like he growing up, coming up, it was always like, I don't put all your eggs in one basket. Like I was taught deceit, kind of in a way. I was
Mm,
taught to be, don't ever give everybody everything, right? Like my
Mhm.
dad, man,
Mhm.
pops, I love you. My dad, my dad when I first met my wife, and she know it because I told her. But he just walked up to me, and I remember him giving me some bread. And his favorite saying my whole life was, "Never let your right hand know what your left hand got." And
Mhm.
he was talking about that, like you ain't got every time you get a little piece of money, you ain't got to tell her. She gonna tell it for, so she can just go spend it, blow it.
mm,
Like it was like this assumption that women across the board all had these 5 attributes, the same thing, and if you do these principles, but like it's like that stuff now when I feel that coming out in my marriage, I'm like, oh, this I know this ain't right.
mm,
Like, you know what I mean? Like I know now, but I feel like that took discipline. It took you wanting to like not say I'm not gonna be like what my father raised me to be like. I'm gonna be what my father
Raised me
raised
to
me to
be.
be like. You get what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so, I don't know, man. Like just going back to your point,
mhm,
I believe that it's a lot of the tradition, especially young black men, are either not seen because they don't have a father. So you
Mhm.
don't see how a proper husband operates in a home. And then two, it's bouncing like it's divorce after divorce after divorce. Nobody sticks something out, man. Like, you know what I mean? I think like that's why that was so like pertinent for me. Like it has to work. I don't care. I tell my wife the only thing that I literally will walk away around if you let another man poke. Right? I know, and some people can forgive that.
Some people can
I
forgive
can't.
them.
Like
I'm
I'm
with you.
on the record. I
I'm
can't.
with you.
Like I just
His
know that's
chest will
that's
be
not happening.
tight.
Yeah.
Well,
Like,
I mean, you did say something that's really good that I wanted to touch on when you was talking about like how your father raised you. So me, we all we all got sons except for Cleo. You know, he got a daughter, but we all got sons. And for me, I'm glad we're talking about this topic because again, as I stated in the beginning of the podcast, having somebody to look up to.
mm,
So when it comes to my son, right, I'm teaching him, hey, be with one woman. And if you don't want to be with this woman, then don't be by yourself. You don't gotta have multiple girlfriends. You don't gotta have. So I'm changing the trajectory in his mind about how he looks at cheating, even from a young age. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want him to think coming up you're the coolest because you got the most girlfriends, or you're the coolest because oh I slept with that girl or I slept with that girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think in our generation we was praised on those
mm,
things, but now like I don't know if my son can handle a heartbreak like I did. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
This kid's out here committing suicide and different things like that. So I'm very particular on what he intakes and what he consumes, especially when it comes to the heart. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, God rest my father's soul. If you ask me, I feel like my father died from a broken heart. You know
Mm.
what I mean? Which led him into drinking, which caused cirrhosis of the liver, on top of him having diabetes, and then he got cancer. You know what I'm saying? That he held from everybody. You know, so I think that it goes back to my point. 20 years from now, when my son is sitting down and he's having this conversation, I want him to be able to say, a humble husband. I know what that is like. I know what that feels like. I know what that looks like because my father was one. I know what a I know what it looks like as a man in a household that's willing to give everything he can. You know what I'm saying?
But
And
even if you don't have that example, you can only use that example. You can only use that excuse, excuse me, for so long because we have the word.
mm-hmm,
You know what I'm saying? The word has everything that we needed. Like I've been sitting here just looking at this verse this whole time we've been talking. First Peter chapter 3, verse 7.
what it say?
I'll read it to you. This is the amplified. It says, in the same way you married men should live considerably with your wives, with an intelligent recognition of the marriage relation, honoring the woman as physically the weaker, but realizing that you are joint heirs of the grace of God, God's
Mm,
unmerited favor of life, in order that your prayers may not be hindered and cut off. Otherwise, you cannot pray effectively.
mm,
So when you realize that one of the jobs that you have as a husband is to be the priest of your home,
mm-hmm,
which means you're the house manager,
correct.
which means whether you started the beef or not, it's your job to go fix it.
You hear EJ say he the thermostat. You know what I'm saying?
no, you're the
Most
temperature.
You said it.
You set the temperature.
You said it.
She
Thermostat.
she the
She's just to
thermostat.
read it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you
she's
so
just
we're
the
allowing
reading.
everybody in there to just say, hey, we'll turn them up or we'll turn him down.
But I think to the topic though, in order to manage the whole shit, God is letting us know humility is going to be in your best interest.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man.
Arrogance is not going to serve
Where
you
do you
well.
think "Happy Wife, Happy Life" came from, bro? It's a endearment of, nigga, be humble, because do you not understand the system is set up for her to take you up top, and the more damage you do, the more damage will be done on you.
Not only that, God holds the man responsible.
He
Check
sure
that.
do.
God holds the husband responsible.
He sure does.
When they ate that fruit at the beginning, because God set up the family before he set up the church.
Correct.
So when he came and, hey, Adam, where y'all at?
Come on.
He ain't come checking for Eve.
He said Adam.
He said, Adam, where you at? So when you realize no matter what goes on, in my experience as a husband, like one thing that I get asked, probably the number one question I get asked in dating after divorce is from women, why did you get divorced? I promise you, that's the number one question. Like, hey, so why'd you get divorced? Like, and the first thing I say is, before I tell you all of this, I am responsible that this thing did not work
Mm.
because God holds the man responsible.
Come on.
Like, what broke my house don't matter. No matter which side broke first, the Bible says a house divided against itself shall not stand. Don't matter whether the left
Oh.
side broke first or the right
Mhm.
side. The fact of the matter is, when
broke.
I come check, it broke,
Come on.
Bro,
and I'm holding, and I'm coming to check Cleophas,
And it was your house.
Yeah.
and it was
And
my house.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when you
Yeah.
get to that place where you realize, no matter what go down in this mug, I'm the one that's responsible for it.
Mm.
I gotta steward this thing with humility,
Mhm.
because the verse just said that your prayers won't be hindered.
Mhm.
So how are you even stewarding your house? One, if you're not praying. So
Right.
then for any husband, past, present, or in future,
Mhm.
if you're
Set
not
the tone.
praying, you gotta set the
Not
tone.
even just setting the tone though, like, because I learned also that if you're a husband and you at odds with your wife and you're not trying to fix them odds, God does not hear your prayers, you know? And
That's crazy.
I'm gonna take it back to something that Chac said earlier, and it really just, I'm gonna be honest with you, man, it convicted me. And it convicted me when he says, you know, I look at what my wife did throughout the day. So when I think about all of the things that my wife did throughout the day, you know, because honestly, I could be honest with my brothers, right? I'm the type of guy that be like, hey, well, I did. Well, you talking about something you did earlier, you had to get the kids together. But you, I was up at this time. I've been working all day, but then it's just like, dang, man, the Holy Spirit literally just, it's like you know when you hear something and the light bulb went off. Nah, I just got slapped up in the back of my head and said, "Hey, listen to what Mike just said." You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? Stop every time you and your wife is having a disagreement. Stop saying what you did,
Bro,
cause what you did don't
I did.
matter.
I used to do that all the
And
time.
why we
Like in
keeping
that first
score?
couple
Like, why we
years.
keeping
Yeah,
score? Like, why we keeping score, bro?
Yeah, like in that
yeah.
first couple years, and we actually went to Miss Yvonne Gray. Shout out Miss Yvonne and her therapy bit. It felt like marriage counseling. Fire.
Okay.
She's amazing. But what I would say to that, bro, is what I found is I always try to have. It's like when the reason why we read word, right? Because the Holy Spirit brings all things to remembrance, so that when you're in that time, you can now it'll just spit it out. You be like, dang, where'd that come from, right? Boom, it's just stored up. You got to store up some things that in yourself, other than outside of just the Bible, that are just life principles for yourself. For me, one of those things like the one from earlier, does it change how I love her? That's just something, an automatic response that I have aligned, set up for if a problem comes across the table. Question number one, does it change how I love her? Okay, no. Two, because I used to be the guy that, and my wife used to always tell me every time we in an argument, talk about what you do. You talk, mind you, my wife was a stay-at-home mom at the time. She was raising the kids at home, you know what I mean? I was out working 2, 3 jobs, trying. And so, me looking at all the work that I'm doing, throwing that out there. And my dad told me a story one time about um my mother getting on him about something. They was divorced at the time. And he went to his older sister. And mind you, their age gap, like my aunt is like a total of like 16, 17 years older than my dad.
So she more like a
So
mother
he's
figure.
right. So she was like his mom figure, you know what I mean? And his mother was really old. Like I never even met my mother and grandfather, but he went to her complaining, right, saying, "Man, I do this, I do that." She said, then her telling him this years ago has stuck with me to the day. She said, "You ain't doing no more than you supposed to be doing."
Mm.
Like and storing that in your system helps. So that's what helped me to stop from talking about what I be doing. Soon as I go to, you ain't doing nothing. There's nothing you have done today that's outside of what you should be doing. So why you keep giving your nigga? You
Hey, that's
supposed to
raw.
be doing this.
Yeah,
Like, what
that's
are you
good.
talking about? You over here
That's
trying to
real
get yourself
good.
brownie points
Correct.
for nigga. You chose to be a father. You chose to be a
Correct.
husband. You got on the knee.
Correct.
You stuck it in her. You got nigga, it's all you.
That's why I
Yeah.
love them. I
Yo,
love
pull off
old
That's
game
why I
too.
love
school.
it, bro.
Yeah.
I love
Like when
old
my pops
school
told me
mamas
that
and
she
grannies,
told him
bro.
that, I was like,
I love them, bro.
what?
They gonna give it to you straight,
Yeah.
no
Because
chase, bro.
it's
That's
like
what people
now
need
you
though.
only entitled
Straight
to
to
the thing that you really understand, right? Like that's why kids automatically, most of them get a clean slate into heaven if something happened to them because
Correct.
their understanding ain't there. Once your understanding is there, and that understanding can come by somebody else, it could come to you directly. That was one of those third party acknowledgments that he told me. Yeah, this is what she told me, and I was like, man, I guess I need to start telling myself that, like, because we be thinking that we so high and mighty because we do all this, bro. You're supposed to do that.
It's
Yeah.
not only that, bro. To zoom out on the example that you just gave, it's pride. And pride causes division. Pride causes you to be on a different level, on a different plane than your spouse is on. But this is something that I believe I know I'm gonna get married again. And God got me in like marriage boot camp right now or something, especially with this episode. But no, for real, bro, because I'm over here
Marriage boot
like
camp.
I'm listening to y'all story. I'm kind of like,
Drop a give me
I'm
50.
cool. You know what I'm saying?
Dropping
I'm good being single right now. Like, but this is what the Lord brought to me maybe like a week or two ago. Was the power of agreement. Like this word says, it's in Matthew 18:19. This is the Amplified. It says, again, I tell you, if two of you, two, husband, wife, two of you on earth agree, harmonize together, make a symphony together about whatever, anything and everything they may ask, it will come to pass and be done for them by my Father in heaven. This is the offense that the enemy has been running. Is he glazed it like this: we agree to disagree. So now we become desensitized to the power of disagreement. Because God just said, hey, if two of y'all agree on anything, it'll be done. You got a built-in two to your one. But we be so okay with, nah, we just gonna have to agree to disagree
And
because
you know, women
she
get
ain't
that.
feel me.
Women get that more than us, because it's so many times. And now that you said that, it made me think about a moment where, like, you know, I remember my wife always said, like, hey, when you pray about it, you get it, right? And a lot of times when you pray about it, I'm in second and agreement of you praying about it. So when we try to get a house. I remember one time my wife was like, I need you to start praying for a house. Like, we need to be in agreement on a crib. You get what I'm saying? But you know, I feel like women, like, they catch on to that a lot faster,
Absolutely.
bro. Like,
Yes.
like that whole agreement piece. And I would say, bro, it's also about being fearful of the Lord. I think there's some reverence.
That's the definition
I think there's some
of
reverence
humility.
to fear, right? Like the word. Why I'm so happy to have a wife, like, is because the Bible says, "He who findeth a wife findeth a good thing and inherits." Right. So inherit mean there's some things that I'm getting right now that I wouldn't have never got if I never found you.
There are
Like, and
certain
I think a
blessings that
lot
are
of people
reserved
don't
for the other
get
side of
that.
marriage.
You get what I'm saying? Like, bro, there's a lot. I feel like, bro, would I have this film company didn't come around until after I met my wife. He didn't plant this idea in my head when I was in college. He gave me this whole vision after I found my wife. And as I've been with my wife, as we work through different things, he's unlocked different levels of success that come with it. I firmly believe that if I get divorced, bro, KFC is just getting shut down. I believe the Lord coming in and he taking everything that I earned, or not even earned, inherited through my wife, and it's going to be gone.
Well, I think, but that's, you know, we look at our spouse, and you know, when a man find a wife, he find a good thing. So it's like being the leader of your household. It just teaches us how to lead rather than control, you know, and leading rather than controlling is something different. And I think leading your household and making sure that everybody's on the right path, leading your household, making sure things is in order. You know what I'm saying? Instead of you coming in and just being a dictator, you know. And I think we emphasize and we value the voice of our spouses. You know what I'm saying? Not only value the voice, like value like the input and the wisdom that they have, you know, because again, at the end of the day, you know, every day is another day and a new day that you've been married to your wife for another time. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what tomorrow brings, you know what I mean? And I'm gonna be honest, I could be honest with you and say, if my wife wasn't there to help me in the house, that baby would have been fell apart. You know what I'm saying? And now that I'm listening, it's like I can't wait to go home and just tell my wife, like, hey, I want you to know that I value. Not that I ain't never told her, but like I want you to know, like today, after
Mm-hmm.
this episode,
Yep.
like, hey, I value everything that
Yep.
you do
Yep.
in this household. And I know sometimes I may take it for granted. Sometimes I may come home angry. I may be upset. I may feel like ain't nothing around here going the way that it's supposed to. But at the end of the day, one thing I can always know for sure is you gonna hold this baby together.
Mm.
And that's what's
You know
dope
what
about
I'm
this
saying?
topic, bro. Like, same. I'm thinking that already. I'm like, hey, bro, what can you do for your wife when you get to the crib, bro? Just to
Yeah.
show some appreciation, bro. And while you was talking, bro, I was kind of reading through some stuff, but like what you was saying aligns with Proverbs 14:1 about a wise woman builds her house
Mm,
and the foolish woman tears it down.
Come
But
mm,
like
on.
when we think about just the women that we know and encounter and the women we have in our
yes,
lives,
sir.
bro, like they fit the bill of the Proverbs 14:1 of a wise woman who builds her house. I can speak to that with my wife. She builds our house. She don't do nothing in the shape, form of nothing that tears our house down. And kind of circling back to a few things too that y'all said I want to go back to. And we kind of talked about the punching bag. Like think about that though. Like what is a punching bag built for?
Mm,
What is it
Mm.
built for?
Hits.
It's built. So if we are the punching bag, that means God has built us to take them hits. I've in my own eyes, I've never been in a gym and seen nobody punch a punching bag so hard to where it busts open.
ever.
In the movies, maybe, you know what I'm saying? But in
Yeah.
my life and me being in the gym, or when I've I've never seen a punching bag bust open,
Hey,
no
you need
matter
me
if
to
it was
show you?
George
That's my
Foreman.
like fifth one this week. You need me to show you?
Ah,
Yeah,
man.
let's see it,
Shut
EJ.
up, man.
Right, but you feel what I'm saying? No, like
I'm with
it's
you.
built to absorb
That
that,
baby been
like,
around
and
for
still
10
to stay up
years.
there with no issues, no complaints. It ain't saying nothing. It ain't saying take me down.
Yeah.
And then too,
Mm.
what you was talking about with your son, it was some around Valentine's Day that blessed me, bro. Where I was in Target, Valentine shopping a little bit, car, whatever, and there was a man and his son. His son couldn't have been no more than 12, but I hear him talking his son through what type of Valentine's Day card to pick out for a girl that he like. He like, all right, son, let's make sure we pick something very respectable. Like, it's okay to show her that you have feelings for her, but pick something that's very respectable that her parents will see it too and that they won't be offended by it. Like he telling them all this, like just
Mm-hmm.
walking him through. He like, no, not that one, son. They got these pictures on here, this and that. It's talking about kiss, this and that. He said, no, son, we not doing that. So like now I eventually chime in. I'm like, hey, your dad give you some game right now, bro. Like
Mm-hmm.
he really telling you how to act towards a young woman, bro. And I say to me as a man, I have two daughters. I
Mm-hmm.
said, I want you to hear, as a man that has $2, I respect and appreciate what your dad is telling you right now. Because if a young man was to come to my daughters in a very respectable way, he will get a +1 brownie point with me just off the rip. I might still be tough on him, but I still see that he's been raised right and that he's thinking about how he should act and towards my daughters. So just them two things I want to circle back on while y'all was talking.
No, but uh, I'm very thankful for the daughter that I have. And even staying here, right? The young man, and it's not many, you know what I'm saying, but the few young men that I have met that was interested in my daughter, you know what I'm saying, have always approached me respectful. I'll tell y'all a quick story real quick. Me and Chac, we was standing in the church and
You just said something too, by the way. About to get shot.
okay.
Keep going.
Me and Shock, we was standing by the pastor office and we talking. I think we was talking about sports. It was a basketball. It was playoff time. We was talking, and it's a lot going on. You know, my daughter's standing there, and she just, she's among her uncles and her dad. And, not jumping in our conversation, but just standing there being patient. She was on her phone playing. While she's on her phone, this little smooth, cool, mod young kid, he comes up to my daughter and he takes her
Cool
phone
Modi is
out her
crazy, man.
hand. And as he take her phone out her hand, mind you, it's me and my two brothers standing. It's me, Shock, and T Seals. We all standing there. Man, we all then froze because we can't believe that this young man got the balls of big kahunas.
Sam Cassell joints.
Said,
He
hey,
did say that.
he came to us and go. I mean, he came and he bagging my daughter right before my eyes, y'all. And it was just
Game
like,
ain't easy,
it
but
was
it's
so
fair.
crazy, man. Like, but listen, but he kind of made me laugh though, cause like after he bagged my daughter and he was like, "Hey, can you put my number in your phone?" You know what I'm saying? While she putting her number in the phone, he like, "Who's you? Like, you the pastor or something?" And I'm just like, "Man, you know, daggone well I ain't the pastor." You know what I'm
He was
saying?
playing with you at that point.
But I said that to say, like, as long as we raise our children to be, cause like what I'm saying, we all got sons, and that I love to hear stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Cause I want somebody else to see me teach my like A3. He's 8, about to be 9. He had his first Valentine. And my my boy was stressing. My boy was stressing over his Valentine, and kind of like the same thing. When we went to the store to pick out, his gift, I made sure it was like, respectful. You know what I'm saying? I ain't about to, cause he wanted, A3 wanted to do all kind of crazy stuff, but I'm just like, nah,
So
son.
to the point that y'all talking about sons being prepared to receive daughters, what about us being prepared to receive heavenly daughters?
Ooh,
That's really where to bring this whole thing full
come
circle
on,
to give us vision on this thing.
come
Because
on.
y'all just spoke passionately, and I'm a girl dad, so this doesn't apply to me. So, pow, pow, pow. This is the thing. Y'all have daughters of the king. Y'all know how y'all want y'all sons to treat women and young ladies. How y'all think God wants y'all to treat y'all's wives?
Mm,
Even more so, and He's giving
I
us
think
instruction.
now this is just being an example. You know what I mean? Like I think it's just being the
Yeah,
example that they
straight
need to
up.
see, right? Like
Mm,
like I think earlier when you said like, oh no, I don't think it's really just setting the tone. Like it really is more than just setting the
Yeah,
tone. It's being the tone, right? It's
correct,
like being the change you want to see. Like I don't want my if I don't want my boys to be women beaters, bro, don't beat on women.
correct.
If you don't want them to cheat, then don't have a history of cheating.
flat
If
out.
you don't want them
I'm
to be
with you.
liars, I mean, all kids lie.
All kids lie.
But if you don't want them to be liars, then don't lie. Don't show them those attributes. A lot of the stuff, bro, that we all learned that we had to unchange, bro. We got a leg up now.
Mm-hmm.
We you ain't my
Yeah,
sons ain't.
that's
There
good.
might be some things that they gonna have to unchange. Is things that he's self-taught, self-learned. That like he went off to
Mm-hmm.
school. I don't know where he picked that up from.
I'm with you. I'm
You
with
get
you.
what I'm saying?
I'm with
Like,
you. Say you don't know
but
where he got
everything
that
I
I
don't
from.
know
taught him,
who he
boy,
been hanging with.
you can take to the
Yeah.
grave. You know what I
No,
mean?
that's real good though, cause even like with my son, I don't even let him hit his sisters. You know what I'm
Sure,
saying?
mm,
Like I don't
sure.
even. I ain't the one that's gonna sit there and let my kids. I ain't the one that's gonna sit there and just let my kids box it out or fight or anything like that. I don't like. I tell my son, like when he even gets super mad at his sister, I'll be like, he be like, "Oh, get away from me!" I'm like, "Hey, what did I tell you?" I'm like, what don't we do?" And all I got to do is say, "What don't we do?" And he'd
mm,
be like, "We don't put our hands on girls." Exactly, son.
mm.
That's something that we'd never do.
That's law.
Because if you got to put your hand on a woman, that make you look weak as a man.
Not only
You know what
that, y'all
I'm
don't
saying?
need to beat it.
Correct.
If you got to beat or cheat, then y'all don't need to
Come
beat each
on,
other.
Yeah,
just
It's like
break
when
up.
it's like with
yeah.
kids. Like if y'all got to play like that, then y'all don't have to play together.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's infringing upon a person's humanity.
And I think a
You
lot
know
of
what I'm
people don't
saying?
understand that. You know, the hardest part of relationships is leaving one, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and then when you get married, I be feeling like, bro, people like it's like they feel like it's like 10 times easier, you know what I mean, to leave a marriage than it is to leave somebody, and date. But it's like you said earlier, bro, like even the behavior of you don't always have to be in a relationship, right? Like the days my dad used to always teach us uh about how to put a condom on. I'm teaching my kids how to pick the Bible up.
Mm-hmm.
Read the word. What
That's
does the
law.
word say about sex
Before
before
marriage.
marriage?
Mm-hmm.
What does it say about this? What does it say about that? And like giving them their own little game. AJ, you said something earlier that had to do with just change period. But you said something where it was like it was piggybacking off of his off of Chac what he said about the punching bag.
Hmm.
But do you feel I guess my question for you is when you get into an argument with your wife, how do you handle
Disagreement. We gonna call them disagreements.
disagreement?
We ain't gonna call them
Intense
arguments.
fellowship.
Intense fellowship.
Intense fellowship.
When
There
you
we
get
go.
into intense I like that. I might have to start using that. It'll piss my wife
I got
off.
that
This
from
is
a preacher.
intense
Intense fellas.
fellowship.
This is an intense fellowship right now. I need you to lower it down.
When you
know
get
what I'm
into
saying?
those intense fellowships, and I know you said like sometimes like it's like very hard to kind of like. It sounds what I'm hearing is kind of hard to see you while you mad. Is that like just with your wife, or is that like it all friction and beef?
To be honest with you though, I think I'm gonna say that it's with all friction and beef. But if it's only one person that can calm me down out here in this world, it would be my wife. Like if it's anybody that could talk me off a ledge or calm me, and it hasn't always been like that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because like prime example, if me and you getting into it and say we're beefing,
Mhm.
right? My wife is 100% nonviolent. It we could be arguing about my kid faster than your kid, and they just racing down the street. But if she feels that, because she knows me, if she feels that my voice escalates to a little higher than she like, she'll tell me to calm down or really back. And I think for me, coming up, that's what I was used to that.
That too.
You know, I watched my parents yell, argue, and scream all day.
Mhm.
But my father was an avid alcoholic. He drunk all the time. So most of their arguments will start during times that he was already intoxicated. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So that's why I don't drink like that.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? That's not my thing. You know, I watch what alcohol did to my family. I watch how it tore my father apart. You know what I mean? And anytime it had got to the point to where he go drink buying bottles, to when he start buying the plastic bottle liquor, that's
Mm-hmm.
when you know it's bad. You know what
Wild
I'm
Irish
saying?
Road.
So,
Gas, gas station.
but to answer your question fully though, I think I'm now at the point now where I'm checking myself. I don't let conflict build up with my wife no more.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So it's like if we're at a odds, like you said, like Cleo say, you know what I'm saying? It is your duty to fix
Yeah.
that. You know? Now sometimes she may say, so you don't got nothing to say? And like you had said something earlier when you had said when you had come back into the house and you would just be like, you know what, baby, I'm calm now. I love you. You know what I'm saying?
But it's
I
not
f-
even just that. It's apologizing too
yeah.
for my behavior. You know what I mean? Like I don't think
Mhm.
it's just like coming in and acting like everything's sweet, like
Mhm.
because it clearly ain't. You know what I mean? Like, but I think it is a situation where I just go in and me going through that path, I now can just own up to my piece of everything that's going on. And it's so much to the point, my apology is so genuine, that I don't care what you did at this point.
Right.
I'm telling you I'm sorry because regardless, if you whatever you tell me, like it's not going to change the fact of what has already happened. So let me apologize because I'm the lead. And a lot of times it just trickles into her apologizing too, right?
But
Like
that's
because
really
she's
good.
just reflecting the energy that you giving off, bro. Like she
But you
literally is being you.
but do you
I
know what
once
you
heard somebody say this: people who have been married for a long time are masters of forgiveness.
Oh,
come on. No,
the
for real.
reason why they married for a long time is because they had to forgive
Yeah,
a ton.
yeah.
Or you just get so comfortable. Like I used to always say, I want to be like my grandparents. Grandparents and them been married over 50 some years. Want to be like them to where it's like my wife get upset about something. I know she don't like something, right? Oh man, your wife, man. Yeah, my wife don't do shoes on the carpet. Like something that I may not all the way agree with, right? Like back in the day, might have been like, I don't care. You know what I mean? I want to be so comfortable with my wife where it's like, yeah, man, she don't like that. And if you wear them shoes on here, I mean, if she say something to you, she's saying something to you. You get what I'm saying? Like my grandparents, they so comfortable and they know each other so well.
Stars
It's like,
crawling up.
well, how else did you expect for him to react? like when my grandma say
No,
that,
real talk.
like you
Yeah.
told him this, and how else did you expect for my husband to react? Like she knows him so well that it's like I'm not mad at his reaction anymore because I
Mhm.
know him. So if he reacted to you like that, you must have said something
That he didn't
that
like.
he didn't like.
Hmm.
So it's just a comfort thing for me. Like that's my aspiring goal is to be that comfortable with my wife to where she just know me and I know her.
Well, what I would bring that brings me to my point, and like even speaking on what you're saying is just teaching us as husbands how to cultivate humility. You know what I'm saying? Like you saying that you come in and you giving an active apology. You know what I'm saying? You mean what you saying. You know what I'm saying? Like you
You're not writing it down.
you admitting your mistakes. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And I think as a husband, that's something that we gotta be able to do.
because to, to that point, it's like if you keep in mind that you're the priest of the home, which means you have to deal with basically the trash in the house. How much trash are you gonna let accumulate if you the trash man? If you the one that gotta come and fix the problem, if you the one that gotta come and address it, how much you want to run this up, and you still gotta come in and break all that right back down.
Because a lot of people don't see themselves in that light. They don't see themselves as the curator of all vibes. They don't
But
see
what
themselves
happens?
as that.
But what happens when trash pile up?
It only
What do
piled
it
up because
begin?
you ain't take it out, man.
Right.
You get
So,
what I'm
but
saying?
Flat out.
right,
Now you playing trash Jenga
Right.
no,
and last
But
one
so
but
that
but but
whoever
what
make
is
the
no,
that?
no.
I
most
So
guess I
comes
listen.
guess
out.
I
So
guess
that brings me to my point though. So again, so when we just say deal with trash and you just letting your trash pile up, right? It begins to just put layers on top of layers to where now it stinks. Where now everything is just pouring out and everything is just all over the place, and now it's just out of control. And when your life gets chaotic, you know what I'm saying? We talked about this on episode 30. What happens when your life get chaotic?
Chalk, how you manage that?
Trash piling up.
Just any issues that arise in your household, like what's your frequency on how you deal with that? Is it a certain time? Do y'all, saying y'all got a certain time for that? You deal with it as it comes.
and then to piggyback off of that, the second question is how for the youth out there, young men, how do they know? How do you recognize the trash is pulling? Because I think that's a bigger question for somebody that's like not married, right? Somebody that's like wanting to be married. Like, how do I know when the trash is pulling? Because everybody got their own different temperaments, right? There's some things that may not bother me, but after the millionth time, I didn't realize that it piled up this much, and now I snap
You know,
because I didn't see the trash.
I think with all that, first and foremost, you gotta be able to discern what's trash and what's not.
Mm,
Because sometimes you might identify or confuse the two. Um, and you might create issues that shouldn't be issues. So it's about knowing who your partner is or knowing who your household is, even from your spouse down to your kids. Like, cause you got to be able to apologize to your kids as well because they got
sir.
their own trash that you can let pile up with them. Just because you know how it was coming up, it was that don't do as I say or don't do as I do as I say or
Hmm.
stay in a child's place. Like, no, you got to be able to break bread with your kids in that same way you would break bread with your spouse because you are teaching them as well how to deal with their problems as they go about their days with their friends, their teachers, or any other adults. Because we can see it now. We can go to any basketball game nowadays, kids be in the stands, cussing like it ain't no adults
mm-hmm,
around. So I would just say, for one, recognizing the trash. You
mm-hmm,
gotta have the right trash bags. You can't just
correct.
you can't just try to bag up in your trash with any old weak trash bag. And
Come
what
on.
I
Bye
mean
bye.
by what I
I'm
say
done.
about that
I don't have anything else to
is
say.
bro, you got to
So
be able
far.
to have the right mindset and the right approach with that
Bars.
because if you just grab it for the sake of all right, let me just get this out the way. I know we got to talk about it, so let me bag this up. You try to throw it out, it's gonna fall right back out your bag, or it
Come
might
on.
not fit in your bag. Your bag got to be big enough for you to be able to handle trash the right way. So it got to be the going back to it. It got to be the humility standpoint of it is what is your motive behind addressing this? How are you going to address this? Are you addressing this to poke the bear, to keep the score, to say I got 99, you got 80? You know what I'm saying? Or are you addressing this to
Mm.
say, look, let's throw this scoreboard out. Look, let's talk about how we can prevent. Let me apologize for what I did first, and also let me know how that made you feel so I can avoid this going forward. And like, and so it ain't gonna always be smooth because with me, I know sometimes I gotta decompress. Like I said, because I don't like being mad, and I don't like showing anger towards her. I don't like talking to her a certain way. I want to respect my wife with a certain tone and my certain thought
Mm.
process. Like I don't want to belittle her in any conversation that we have. Cause like y'all brought it up, like he who finds a wife find a good thing and find favor from the Lord. So are you treating her like your favor?
Hey
Ooh.
man, I'm learning all kind of stuff from you
Man,
I
trust
today,
me,
gotta
he
run
be
Shock.
this
whooping me,
episode
bro.
back.
I
Come on,
be in
Shock.
this, I
I'm
be
learning.
Chac affair victory.
man,
I'm
bro.
learning
I'm
some
thankful.
jewels from Shock. Shock been spitting some jewels
Hey,
today,
he
boy.
did.
That
That
trash bag
trash.
Yes,
He
bar,
said
bruh.
it's not just taking out
yes.
the trash.
This
It's the
bag is
You
it's
can't
the
crazy.
take it out with the
bag that
Kroger
you
bag.
put it in.
You gotta go get the Glad bag,
Hey,
my
no, for
boy. And
real.
if you
The
ain't
scented
the
baby.
scented
Come
baby,
on, fresh
extra
scent. They
layer,
got game. They
yeah,
got the extra
And they
shrimp
got the
they
joint.
got
Come
fabuloso joint now.
on, man.
yeah, bro.
Dang,
Look,
it ain't just the
listen, that's the
bag
first thing I'm
that you
checking in
take
your house,
it
man. We'll know the
out
temperature of your
in.
house by the way the trash bags
Trash
look.
bag.
Come
If I
on.
see a bunch of Kroger bags, I'm gonna be like, oh my god.
He got 2 bags. Oh my god, man.
But
Oh my god, man.
but when I see them Glad bags, oh, he taking care of business around here.
No, though, Shock, though, that's real talk. No, cause like even you know what I'm saying, like you said though, like man, baby, when I come home today, man, just know I'm sitting down talking to my wife today. But like you said, you know, checking yourself. You like Shock say, I don't even want to talk to her in that type of
He said,
tone.
I don't want to think towards her in that
I
tone.
don't even want to think towards her in that tone. Like that's deep. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, but for me, you know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
and this is what we here for, fellas. You know what I'm saying? To all, you know what I'm saying, learn something from each other. You
hmm
know what I mean? Like like we gotta
Yep.
be able to take, you know what I'm saying? I know in my bag, I'm going in the house with groceries when I get back to the house. Like, baby,
You
I
feel
just
me?
learned some stuff tonight. You know what I'm saying?
I'm inspired, bro. I'm encouraged. I'm inspired, bro. Like to get go home and all right, bro. What can you do, bro? Like, can you just rub
Come
her feet
on.
for the week start? You
Bro,
know she
because
be up
Yeah.
most
and
women
about.
just want
Can
time.
you rub her hands? She do balloons all
Quality
weekend, bro.
time.
Can you rub her hands? You feel me? Like
Yeah.
that type of time, bro. So definitely on that. When we get back, hey, I'm gonna have to get a follow up too. Like, hey man,
Yeah,
what
we'll
y'all?
talk about
I
it
know
in
you know what I'm
the
saying. You
next
still moving how
episode.
you
I'm
move,
even thinking
but
about getting out the streets now.
yeah.
I'm thinking about return, my boy. Sound good on that side.
Yeah.
Kroger bags away. You know what I
Man.
mean? I didn't-
Make Kroger back.
They
Shit, let
gonna
me
give
get
me
my
some
bag.
trash
Let
Right,
me go.
bags.
The
right.
bag don't
Just
lie,
Hey, bro, if
fellas.
you learn nothing from this episode, know what type of trash bags is in your house, my boy,
Come
because the
on, man.
trash gonna
Have the
come.
right
The
trash
trash is
bag.
gonna
It's
come, and
gonna
you
come.
can't avoid it.
It's
You know
gonna
what
I
I'm
think I
come.
saying?
think one thing I know we all talked about like going home and like what you would do and thinking about stuff. But I think, and I know Clee, you could be speaking to your future wife, you know what I mean? But
Absolutely.
like just tell your wife something, you know what I mean, right now. I mean, AJ, you really already did it, but like directly to the camera, you know what I mean? If you could tell her what she means to you, what would you say?
So first and foremost, Bianca, Brittany Young, I love you. I just want you to know that you are the blood that runs through my veins. You are the heart that keep my heart beating. Um, I just appreciate you so much.
Do.
Thank you
I'm gonna have to up.
for just being who you are. Thank you for our 3 beautiful children,
I'm with
you
you.
know, and just thank you for being able to put up with me. I know over the years we have came so far, and I just want you to know I appreciate you for loving me.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
appreciate you for being a God-fearing woman and loving me through all of the trials and tribulations. And I just want you to know, baby, you stuck with me. You got me for a lifetime.
To keep it short and sweet, she know I done said this to her. I done put this in a song before, and I'm gonna keep saying this, and I'm gonna start saying it more. But in my household, I wear the pants, but she is the belt that holds
Hey.
them up.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And for that, and for my pants to stay up with that belt, like it allows us to both carry more in all these
Come
pockets
on.
that we have with our children and
Come
our
on.
life and just everything. And something, but she that belt. Without that belt, my pants, I'm not gonna be able to operate the correct way. So you already know what it is. Renaja Lachey Menchaca. My girl Do Dirty when I first met you. You know, that was the nickname back in the day. We was doing car dates. all that. Like it was, man.
Hold on, he
He
said,
was
well,
getting
no,
That
no, no,
was
no.
that was
He gonna get
it.
back that
he was
now.
getting
He
spanked
said,
in
what he say,
spades.
no? You said do dirty.
No,
Do
do
dirty,
dirty.
yeah.
That was a little funny nickname. Actually, called. It was my little homie do dirty. We did it, man. Like just playing with her. Like wrote it on Valentine's Day
Hey,
cards, all
now
that.
listen. Now,
Do
if you
dirty.
see
Like
me still, I'm sorry, I'm still in your line. Baby, you are the belt that hold my pants up.
I wear the pants, baby, but you the
All
belt that
across
hold them up,
America, people
baby.
about to use that. Right. PJ, what you
On
got?
my mama.
I mean, MJ, you already know, man. You the GOAT. Tell you all the time. You hold me up. You make sure everything. I don't run without you running. I'm the shell of the engine, and I'm the shell of the car, and she the engine.
Okay.
Mm.
I felt like when she found me, I was in the scrapyard, and she brought me home. Threw some oil on that baby, fresh paint, you know what I mean? I was
Got
a
your baby looking
You know what I
brand
mean?
new.
Had me looking brand new. You know what I mean? And I'm super grateful for the almost 11 years of marriage, and I would say the 14 to 15 years we've known each other. My wife is 4 years older than me. You know what I mean? So I picked you for a reason. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because I knew you had what I needed. You know what I mean? And I knew I needed a woman, man. So thank you for always holding up your part. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. And to everybody that's out there, y'all see me doing a million things, man. Outside of just a podcast, I cannot do none of those things without my wife. That's just I'm gonna just go ahead and just keep it all the way 100 with you. You see me, I'm at your event, I'm at your game because MJ here. So when you see me, you thank me, thank her.
Mm.
When I get to bring my camera out, because there's a lot of wives, bro. The freedom I be having, bro. It's not a lot of people, bro, that really be getting that. You know what I mean?
Come
Most
on,
wives want
man.
you home by a certain time, this and that.
Come
Like, bro,
on,
I
man.
be out shooting. Y'all see me. I be doing y'all shoots to 2, 3 a.m. All that. That's because of her. That's because she gives me the grace to be able to to do that. You know what I mean? It's not like a control thing, but it is one of those things that, but even still to this day, this is how much I respect my wife. When I'm about to go hang out with the fellas, I always text my wife, "Do you mind?"
Sure.
Because it's not so much that I need her permission, but my wife has held me down all week. Now, mind you, I work from home now, so our life is a little bit different now. She's out the house. Um, so, hopefully every day, I'm showing you that I love you too. You know what I mean? By when you come home, dinner cooked, clean crib, you know what I mean? Like that's not just fellas, it's not just a woman's job to do that, bro. You take care of your own stuff, you take care of your house, man. So MJ, I love you, and you already know what it is.
Man, Clee can attest to this. When we used to be planning stuff, I'd be like, hey, what up, Chac? You got what you trying to do? We about to go to the like, hold on, man. I gotta get my
Yeah,
Yeah,
permission
bro.
slip signed first, bro.
no, real talk.
I gotta get my
Legit.
permission slip signed first for
And
this
it's
field
not
trip.
Legit.
like I tell people, it's not even that you asking for
Huh.
permission. It's communication, and I'm communicating with my wife.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And what
And
you
she got my
communicate.
location, so she
Come
got your
on.
location. You invite me to the crib, she got your addy.
You know what that taught me though, Chalk, is that no matter what's going on, you showed me, you showed your wife and everybody else what your priority.
Correct.
No matter whatever I ever hit your line about, it don't matter if it was something super fun, you know what I'm saying? We about to go do it don't matter. My priorities is let me check the crib.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's really to piggyback off of that, this whole episode for me has really I was being funny when I said it, but I really am Daniel's son over here.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of the jewels that y'all dropped, let me know that whoever God got for me next, he's serious about it.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be taking you through this process. Like me and my sister was watching the first Karate Kid like last week laughing because we like, man, Mr. Miyagi real keep was getting over on Daniel's son. Like, bro, I painted his fence, waxed his car. And then Mr. Miyagi went on a date, bro. All right, Daniel's son, left, right, like up, down. Like, bro, like he was low key getting over, and Daniel's son was mad. But when it came time for him to show him, like, hey, bro, I've been teaching you this whole time. Show me wax on, wax off. Show me paint the fence. So when Mr. Miyagi was doing all the moves, Daniel's son, after he got done, because he got hot, like, hey, bro, like, I'm out of here. Like, you just got me over here, like, for free labor. He like, but show me wax on, wax off. Show me this. And Daniel's son at the end, he
You
practicing the
see
moves.
him? Yeah.
He looking at his own hands like, hey,
Dang,
bro,
I ain't know I
I
could do all that.
really know Kung Fu.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's
Right.
what this session has been for me. So it lets me know, like, Cleo, I'm not taking you through these boot camps for nothing. Because how could you even sit in this company and pace with them if you're not a husband.
Mm-hmm.
So you might not be somebody's husband right now, but what y'all just dropped on me today, I'm on the clock. So whoever you are, know this: God, he don't play about his daughter.
You don't.
He don't. That type of preparation, the type of game that y'all just dropped, bro. You said 14 years, 11 years, 15
Yeah.
years. That's over 30 years of experience I just had in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I'm coming for you, girl.
In the words of one of the wisest man by the name of Old Otis, it's cheaper to keep it in a
Well, listen. Well, fellas,
Don't I know?
this has been a great
Yes,
episode.
sir.
All right.
Ooh,
Uh,
yeah,
again,
dope.
we're gonna pray out. All right.
Appreciate y'all.
Um,
Go
who
ahead,
want to
had
pray out?
Chac.
We're gonna do it. I know. I mean, I closed
Now
out loud.
you
I'll do it
opened up
again if
last
we
time,
need
but
to.
we ain't used that. Yeah.
Oh, all right, bet. All right, let's go then.
I can't take my hat off. That's,
I'm
I
taking
mean, I
my
know
hat
I'm
off.
looking crazy too, but it's cool. I
EJ, you
just,
better not cue.
I be convicted
EJ,
every
you
time
better
I.
not cue the camera
Put the hood
to
over the
me
hat.
at
Put the
all.
hood
You
over the
better
hat,
not
nigga.
cue me.
Every time I don't, I be convicted, man. No matter where I'm at,
Yeah.
when it's time to pray with this hat on, man. All right, but dear Lord, we just thank
Thank
you
you,
once
Father.
again for just in allowing us to come together as brothers in Christ,
Yes.
Lord, and just to fellowship
Yes.
and break bread on just the different walks and different things you've showed us and different things you've allowed us to endure, Lord, to bring it all to this moment for us to feed each other, Lord, for the feed forward process of
Yes.
it, Lord. And
amen.
I just speak for over every individual here, Lord, that you just continue to show us how to be men of God first, because that's what you called us to be first and foremost, to be doers of the word and to be just discipline and all that you've showed us, Lord. So I just pray that you increase, Lord, yourself and all of us, Lord. Because once that happens, everything else will
Amen.
fall into
Yes,
place,
Father
Lord. But
God.
also just continue to show us different
Thank you.
ways how to be the husbands you've called
Yes.
us to be, Lord. Not the ones that we see on social media or TV or pro sports, none of that, Lord. Show us continuously how to be the husbands
Amen.
you've called us to be,
Yes.
Lord, and continues
Yes.
to show
Yes.
us the
Yes.
examples in your word where we can take it and apply it, Lord, and be just fruitful and be good stewards of all that you've given us, Lord. Not just finances, Lord, but fruitful of all of our kids, Lord, of our spouses, Lord, of our day-to-day interactions, Lord. Be fruitful and good stewards of our conversations, Lord, and be good stewards of how we interact with others, Lord. So we just thank you right
Yes,
now,
Father
Lord,
God.
for what you have for us going forward, Lord, and also what you have for
Yes.
this podcast, Lord. We just pray that anybody who
Mm.
is watching, who hears this, Lord, they get
Yes,
something
Father
from it,
God.
Lord, and that they recognize your
Yes.
presence in all this, Lord, and that it was not our own doing, Lord, but it was just by your techniques and by your strategies, Lord, and by just how you set us here, Lord, to for you to give them something, Lord. So I just pray that it land on fertile ground, Lord, for that
Yes,
seed to
Father
continue to
God.
be watered by you. And we
Yes,
just give
Father
your
God.
name all the honor, all the glory, and all the praise. In Jesus' name,
Amen.
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 Amen. Amen. All right, fellas, man. This was just one strong, powerful episode, my brothers.
Yes, sir.
Um,
Yes,
but
sir.
yes, stay with us. We love y'all. Thank y'all for being a part of our family, our community. And until next time, chop shop. We out.
Out.